This is a video review of Robot Master's Optimus Primal. Well, it's not actually the Robot Master's version of this mold, but it is the same mold. This one's actually from the Legend Commander collection. And basically what that means, being a Robot Master's mold, is that this is a tiny version of the old Supreme or Leader class Optimus Primal figure we got that was a much bigger monkey, and it's also quite a bit more show accurate. Like I know that there's like like Takara Legends release that has like an even better face sculpt than this that was released kind of recently, and I do really want that thing, but for now this works just fine for me as far as a show accurate Optimus Primal goes. I do have the old Universe one that has the reddish brown coat and the silverback and stuff, and I like that one quite a bit, but I really wanted something that was show accurate, so I got this guy. And now this guy, he really does a good job of it, but there are some problems I wish that they had addressed here. And there are problems that the original one had too, but the original Optimus Primal figure from 1997 or so, like, I wish that they had painted this fur detail black, and they had painted this stuff right here, like the top and back of his robot mode like black, because a lot of white shows, and they really could have done something about it for this. And I also wish that his little kneecaps here for the robot mode didn't stick out quite so much, because I like to try and hide them into his little monkey butt here, but they don't really, it doesn't really work because it causes this thing to pop up. Now, one thing that's nice about moving the legs back like this, even though it keeps Zing from sitting still, is that he can look forward if you do that. Not very well, but like, I had this problem with the original Optimus Primal mold where he always just kind of seemed to be looking down, but you can kind of address it with this guy. Now, transforming this guy is basically the exact same as the original Optimus Primal figure. You straighten out his legs like this, you bring out his little feet, and he still has that little hydraulic mechanism right there. I'm so glad they brought that because, like, as much as feet can be iconic, this is an iconic feature of Optimus Primal's feet. You rotate around the waist, and the reason why I have his little swords right here, not like plugged into the body, is because if I had them in, then when I turned the waist around, they would just be knocked off. The original Optimus Primal figure had that problem too, and I really wish they had solved it here. But anyway, you'll straighten out the arms, you'll bring up his shoulder pads, and then you'll take his monkey head, you'll bring it around, and this time it'll automatically rotate the head around to make his chest plate. And then you rotate up his head, and this is a gorgeous head. Like, this is spot on to the show. I love how well they did that. And then you pose him up a little bit, and here's Optimus Primal in his robot mode, and he looks fantastic. Like he has the full chest shield, not that hollow thing that the original figure had. It's just really cool. Now you can rotate these out, and these are his little over-the-shoulder cannons, and I do wish they had found a way to cover them, like cover the top of them so that when they're out, the bottom side is fur detail, but the top is still missiles. They could have done that, and that would have worked really well for as a compromise between the robot mode and the beast mode. But you do get his cannons here, and they look lovely. So much better than what the original did, where I had those little flaps that hung down. And yeah, he's just a fantastic looking figure. And if you raise this up here, you can see he even has his little jet booster. Now, it's kind of hidden away, and if you bring this up here, you can actually make his silhouette look a lot better, and I like that he does that. But it'll hide this away unless you just kind of leave this up. So what I tend to like to do if I want to have him flying around is I just move these back like that, and I treat these as his rocket pack. Zoom. So anyway, for posability, his head's on the ball joint, so it can look side to side and up, and not really down. It's kind of limited because the ball joint goes into the torso, not into the head. But it does its job just fine. The arms can rotate around 360. Although the fur detail will bump into some stuff up here. And really, what I really like about the way his arms work is that when you bring the arms out, this mechanism here will automatically keep it straight. And for the most part, it'll keep it straight when you bring it up. Although for the last, 8th turn, you will have to bring it out. He does have elbows to go 90 degrees, a bicep swivel, his legs go forward and back. And if you move this out of the way. Actually, what you can do is you can just leave these down and then push this up. Then you get quite a bit more range, and he has a really nice knee. You can bend these down to give him a bit of a support on the back, and you can bend these up to give him a better support when his foot is bent, which really helps as he doesn't have a thigh swivel. Then he also gets a waist swivel. So it's a really nice little package. It's very, very close to the original. And actually, there is one gimmick I forgot to show, which is that he has these little guns in here. So instead of his entire arm splitting open to make a gun, it's just stored right in here. And I feel like the little pin in here was pushed in too far, and like these should raise up a bit more. But it's still nice that they're there. And he has them on both arms, so he doesn't have the little mace weapon anymore. But he also has these little swords, and these things, I really don't like them very much because his hands aren't just straight fists. They can't just plop in and stay there. You have to use these little tabs right here to wedge them in, and they don't really stand very well. If you don't get them in just right, they pop out very easily, and it never really looks like he's holding them. And I've never been fond of the shape of these weapons anyway, just because they look kind of awkward. And like, I can never tell which way. Like, I know this way is forward, but I always feel like this should be forward, but then it doesn't look right, and to put it the other way, it still doesn't look quite right, but it looks better. So I'm not really fond of his little sword weapons here. And since I didn't show you how they come out, I'll show you how they go in. You pop these out. Pop out his little missiles so you get access to the spot, and they plug in using these two tabs here and here into the side right here, like that. And you know, it's easy to tell which way they go because when they're plugged in, they should form a little curve right here that in theory should get out of the way of the legs, but well, that time it worked, but oftentimes the legs just get in the way and they bump it. And then you can close this back down. And anyway, that's the Legend Commander Collection Optimus Primal figure. And I do really quite like it. And if you can find it for a decent price, I got this one for $30. I do really quite recommend it, especially if you're not looking to pay the higher prices that you'll need to pay for the larger figure. Now, the one thing about this figure is that for as neat as it is, I still prefer the larger Optimus Primal figure because this guy just feels kind of delicate in hand because like the little hinge in here always like I don't think it's fragile, but it feels fragile. Little swords there are easy to lose and they pop off even easier than the original ones did. And then this thing right here feels really fragile, especially the gear mechanism that makes it work. And it's just a little bit too small for the design, I think. Like, it works at this design, at this size, but Optimus Primal really needs to be bigger. Like the mold needs to be bigger. Then Optimus Primal himself just needs to be a big figure to really get the full oomph of the character. But anyway, that's our video review of the Optimus Primal figure. I review Transformers, Power Rangers, Digimon, Tobots, lots of stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.